State of DEGA, yeah.
State of DEGA, here we stand.
Yeah.
United crowds awaited grand.
2025, this is the first of the year. This is a year that everything's going to change, major releases, major news, and a lot of fun. But you know,
this DEGA event is about to start. Get your drink, turn on your headphones, grab pen and paper, sit back and relax. But more importantly, share this shit.
you know it. Share this shit, bring everyone, go into the server, go into the Telegram, Discord, Twitter, everywhere. Let's bring people in here because we got major news. With Carlos and Rabbit are coming in hot today. So how are you guys? And happy to see you again.
Hey man, so great. Happy to see you too as well. How's things going for you?
It's amazing. This AI agent madness, it's incredible. And you said it before, there's going to be more agents than humans in a few years. So just trying to get a grasp on it, understand it, and getting ready to play the DEGA agent game.
Beautiful. Happy to hear that. How about you, Rabbit? How are things going on your side?
Well, I see a lot of new faces popping in here and some old faces. Rock and I actually had a really nice chat. What was it? Not last week, but the week before. Rock's a pretty smart guy, so happy to have you here, Rock. But I'm the Rabbit for all you new people. I'm the Chief Operating Officer here. I advise Carlos on strategy and communications, as well as a couple of other things, partnerships and all that kind of stuff. Also keep the trains running on time. So if we got to get a communication out or something like that, I'm the guy who kind of like pulls the switches in the back end to make all that happen. A lot of the time with Freaky, which I really enjoy. Freaky, I love you.
I love you too, bro.
Yeah, I'm doing great. I mean, you know, my biggest thing right now, Carlos, is I think I shared that meme with you about or maybe you shared it with me. It's like I can't even tell with all the AI update news, you know, keeping in touch and keeping up to date with all the people that I know and all the things that are going on in the space. It's like crazy times for anyone who's been doing AI for as long as Carlos and I have. It like seriously, the switch got flipped like overnight and it just exploded. So, you know, staying up to date on all that kind of stuff has been exciting. That's me.
Indeed. Yeah, every day is a wild day, right? Like, so many news coming up. We were still dealing with DeepSeek, and then the Alibaba released their new Quen version as well. And then there was this one called, I think it's called Kimi, Kimi.
Oh, I didn't know that one.
Yeah, it was Chinese as well. Yeah, Kimi and Quen were released on the same day, which is smaller and multimodal, and also has reasoning capabilities. So, yeah, it's we're starting to compound effects massively. You know, I knew that this was going to happen just because I would see one team publish one innovation, another team publish another innovation, and then it was like all of these innovations can be brought into a single model, right? Which is what DeepSeek did. They brought in mixture of experts and other innovations together with reinforcement learning. And they basically did a little bit more of an approach similar to what Alpha Zero did from the Google guys, in the sense that people were previously straight up after the token prediction step, they would send it to human reinforcement learning. And then, which is what AlphaGo was doing at the beginning. It was learning from human games, right? But then when Google did Alpha Zero, they said, let's remove the human and let's just let it.
I remember.
So, and that was, you know, Alpha Zero was even better. Turns out that learning from humans was actually keeping it back. So now we have the same thing with DeepSeek, because they were also, you know, previously having humans tune it, right? And then they said, no, let's just have it, you know, train it itself based on a reward function. And it turns out that the humans were also holding it back. So now it's far better, right? And it reached certain conclusions about, let's say, quote unquote, thinking longer is better for its answers. It reached that conclusion by itself. It wasn't taught that it should think longer, right? So that's
I'm,
that's
I'm,
fascinating.
I'm predicting that, probably this is just a prediction of mine. Probably sometime in the very near future, these AIs are going to abandon English, abandon human language, and they're just going to start talking to each other in a truncated semantic way, so that they don't have to. That'll even like re-optimize everything else, and there'll be a translation layer for human languages.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's no need, right? There's no need to talk in English for us. They can probably, make a more efficient communication protocol between themselves. That's not a big deal, I would actually say, in the sense that they could do it pretty quickly. So yeah, so it's fascinating, and that's why in DEGA, for those of you who have been with us for a long time, we've always been doing the intersection of blockchain, AI, and gaming, right? If you recall, the proof of concept that we created about a 2D world simulated with AI agents, we did that over a year.
Oh no!
Oh my God, no. Carlos, where did he go? There you
I
go.
didn't flip that switch.
No, me neither.
That's not a switch I flipped.
Am I back?
Yes, you're back. A year ago, we were left with a year ago.
Yeah, that's weird. I didn't touch anything. I had my hands off the keyboard even.
Anyway, just Discord being Discord.
Yeah. So those of you who have been with us for a long time, I was about a year ago, maybe even more, that we did that proof of concept with the 2D characters. Yeah, it was November 2023. I personally coded that proof of concept. And then, if you'll recall, we added price information from CoinMarketCap, and the agents were discussing Venus, they were discussing meme coins, they were discussing gaming tokens and everything. So we've always been at that intersection, but we were prioritizing the game builder side of things, right? We were more keen on the 2D world building aspect, right? And after AI blew up last year, because I don't mean just from the hype perspective, but also from the technology perspective, because I always knew we were going to reach where we are, and we still have more to do, but
wasn't expecting it that fast.
Yeah, as Michael said, it was kind of like a flip in a switch, right? It was like 4 months that changed everything, right? It was kind of like the release of O1 mini preview, Cloud 3.5 Sonnet.
I think Claude was the singular. It was the mini singularity for me. When Claude hit, I was just like, that's it.
Think another use case, right? Because even to this date, ChatGPT 4.0 still sucks at programming, and O1 is better, but it's still not. It takes longer compared to Cloud, and like Cloud 3.5 Sonnet, it's kind of at a sweet spot in which it's just as good enough for you to use it, and it's faster than O1, right? So, and it's still better than DeepSeek, to be clear. DeepSeek is cool for reasoning, but Claude 3.5 Sonnet is still better as of now for programming. And I'm sure that they're improving it, right? They're telling us that it's Cloud 3.5 Sonnet. They're not telling you that it's the 80th iteration of it, right? So under the hood, they're continuously improving that. So that was kind of like a flip the switch moment. And then when that happened, we were like, no, we got to build everything around AI, right? And we did discuss this in a State of DEGA. Just recapitulating for some of those who are new or perhaps somebody that missed it. And then we were like, no, we got to focus more on the AI vertice, because that just became like the base of the triangle, right? So it's AI, blockchain, and gaming, but AI has to be at the core, right? It sustains the other two. And this is something that I would recommend to anybody doing any type of business going forward, whatever the hell you're doing. think how you can leverage the power of AI to make it happen, right?
And what is it that happened? What is it that happened yesterday, Carlos? I'm like, Carlos, just tell me our technical stack. And you did. And then like, what was it? Like 15 minutes later, I'm like, Carlos, I just built like a secure logon with like encryption and blah, 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 blah. And I like went through this whole list of stuff that would have taken, a team of 10, like 3 months to do. And it was done in 15 minutes.
Yeah, it's a powerful stuff, man. Really, really powerful stuff.
And to quote Carlos, Rabbit, you're Neo now.
Yeah. You can control the matrix now.
Wild. And I did
the
it
digital
with
world is at
words.
your fingertips.
So it's wild times, everybody, like wild times. And just to let you know, for those of you who might be a little concerned about, when like a new model comes out and blah, 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 don't forget, Carlos and I have been doing enterprise applications and large scale applications for a very long time. I might use a little bit of technical language here, but we treat those models as commodities here, which means we do not lock anything we do into a single model ever. So if a better model comes out, it really is just kind of like a plug and play for us. So,
Yeah.
if you see a new model come online and you're like, oh my God, how is that going to affect what I'm doing with DEGA? It's not at all.
Or it's going to improve the DEGA. It's going to improve.
It'll just make DEGA better.
Yep.
So,
yeah, I mean the whole sell-off that people did both on the stock market and the crypto market just doesn't make sense. It's just people panicking. And I get it, not everybody understands all the nuance within this. Better AI means we're going to do more stuff with AI, not less, right? So all those massive data centers, if in the past they would have only been able to run, let's say, 1,000 instances of the AI, now they're going to be able to run 10,000 instances of the AI. That means more AI for all of us, not less. And there's no limit to the consumption, right? People will eat all of the AI that you give them, in the sense that it's like saying energy, right? Electricity. If you just had a little bit of electricity, you just have one light bulb. You have more, okay, now you can have a TV. You have more electricity, okay, now you can have air conditioning. You have more, okay, now you're going to set up heating as well, et cetera, right? And your washing machine, et cetera. So the more electricity we have, the more we consume it. And it's going to be the same AI. The more AI there is, the more we will use it, not the less.
Yes, John, I was going to mention that.
Yeah, yep, Jevon's paradox is exactly why I wouldn't have sold. That is we're supposed to have a rational market, but obviously the majority of people who I don't know who invented that term. The market is the most irrational thing I've ever seen in my life. No, it totally is. It's like it's a pipe dream. It really is. It's the pipe dream of the rationalist movement, that everything is rational, and it's not. That's the biggest switch that happened with the housing crash back in 2005. It's like everyone's like, oh, maybe all these models were wrong, and now we've got to completely retune our economy. And this is what's happening right now, is our economy is getting retuned to be able to handle different types of modeling. But anyways, let's not go down that. Yes, Carlos.
Let's jump into the agents part. Okay, so we've showcased.
But wait! Before you jump into the agents, and explain what the agents are. We need you guys to be active, and you know what to do.
Sharing raid.
Let's go out and share. Let's bring everyone, because we're gonna hear the news. We're gonna hear what this is about. This is important. So let's get people in here. We want them to know. We want them to listen. Sorry, Carlos, for interrupting, but we need to do that.
Oh, for sure. Please. Okay, so the agent platform, in the last two State of DEGAs, we've gone through 2 demos, I believe, already. So we're not going to do that part again. There have been some improvements to the UI, but I wouldn't say, they merit a whole showcase again of it. They're in our YouTube for anybody that hasn't seen it. But it's a very straightforward way, just what you expect, just the capability to insert your description for your agent, have it generate a character profile, and then on top of that, deploy it to Twitter and so on. So what we'll do right now, what I want to do actually, well, first I will mention what are the features that we're going to be doing, having right now for the launch. And then I want to actually showcase some of these agents, right, that are live already, so that people can get an idea, they can follow them, and you can kind of like, you can discuss some of the use cases, that people can have with these agents. Because having an agent is like having a blockchain, right? Like if any of you here were in this industry when we just started having blockchains, people would constantly ask, like, what can I do with a blockchain? And that's kind of like, we always have to have something ready to reply, but the real answer is like whatever you want, in the sense that it's a very flexible piece of software that you can, do whatever you want with it. People in blockchains have built everything from real world assets, meme coins, casinos, video games, lending platforms. So what can you do in blockchain? Whatever you want. But what can you do with an AI agent? The real answer is whatever you want, right? It's a very flexible system. But we should go through some use cases that are kind of like immediate no-brainers, right? So for the features that we're going to be having for this release is basically, your fully autonomous agent running by itself, right? Then it's going to have the integration with Twitter. You actually need to do that Twitter. You need to provide the Twitter authentication token, and we'll add a video of how to do that even in the website. So there'll be instructions, there'll be a video. So even if you've never done it, you can just see the video and you'll be able to get it. It's like 4 clicks, no more than 4 clicks for sure. The only thing is you will need a desktop browser to do that. You can't do it on mobile, or at least not on a normal mobile browsers. And I believe you can't do it on Safari. Safari is probably one of the worst browsers I've ever seen. But Chrome is good, Firefox is good, Brave is good, even Microsoft Edge is good. So there's quite a lot of options there. You can operate the entire thing from your mobile, except that one part that you need to get the Twitter authentication token. And again, there'll be a video for that, so don't worry about how to do that. So once you connect your Twitter account, then the agent goes, live. It's technically not alive until you do that, right? Because right now we're only enabling interactions through Twitter. Why? Because I see a lot of the people creating, the chat interface directly for the agents. But to be honest, like, most of the chat experiences that people are doing, they're pretty crappy, right? It's a whole product in and of itself, right? To have just a chat interface with an agent, it seems trivial, but that is a whole application in and of itself. So I was like, just deal with it on Twitter, right? Like, you already have the entire Twitter UX you're familiar with it. You can just use that to interact with it. So that's kind of like the way they were going about it. And then on the token side, the features that will be ready for the deployment will be being able to mint a fair launch token for the agent on Cardano and on Solana. Those are the 2 networks that we're starting off with. And then we'll add EVM after that. We're already partnered with the Third Web guys. Maybe some of you know them. They're one of the most popular and used Web3 infrastructures in the space. And then we'll be integrating, they've even deployed some specialized AI features with blockchain information for the AI side of things. So we're looking at probably a deeper collaboration with Third Web. Yesterday, I was talking with their founder, Furkan, a very bright guy. If you don't know him, I really recommend you guys follow him, or you look for some of the podcasts he's done on YouTube. Very, very smart guy, very successful as well. And that's what we're going to be using for the EVM integration, which is going to be pushed as an update, right? So one thing that I like to make clear for everybody, we're not forcing anybody to make a token, right? I know that that's like, a whole different, let's say, heck, I would say it's even a whole different lifestyle, right? If you want to create your token, your community and whatever. For some things, it really does make sense, right? I can definitely see gaming guilds using this to kind of like create a reward system and a membership system. And, maybe somebody wants to do it for fun or whatever. But we're not forcing you. So you don't have to create a token if you don't want to. And then everything that I just mentioned is part of the free tier, right? So free tier, you can create your account. You get one agent per account. You connect it to Twitter, and then you can deploy your token on Solana, Cardano, or an EVM chain, right? We'll probably start with Base or Arbitrum. We're still evaluating that. And then after that, then as an upgrade, the paid features will be integration with Discord, integration with Telegram, a few more on-chain operations, things like gamification. Some of you may remember the gamified decks. There's a few other things that we want to bring through the agents, because that's where all of the platform is going to be integrated, right? Even our game builder, everything's going to be built around the agents going forward. So those are kind of like the two things that you can expect, right? The free tier for the release and the features that I just mentioned, and then the upcoming upgrade for the rest of the features, right? And if you have any questions, by the way, leave them in the chat. We'll address them as they come in. And that's kind of like the starter, right? We'll do a slow rollout. So, for example, we'll do a cap of like 50 agents when we release. We're going to make sure that those 50 are stable, running, not having any issue. Then we'll continuously expand, to 100, then 400, then 1,000, and so on, based on demand, of course. Because we need to set up infrastructure for all of this. The system that we built, it's already scalable. It can already automatically horizontally scale. But, let's take it a step at a time because it is a new system, right, at the end of the day. So any questions so far, drop them into the chat. If not, then the rest of the thing, the next step that I'd like to discuss is, DEGA is doing a very unique approach to this agent platform, because we're not only using it ourselves, right, as a DEGA AI agents platform, but we're also enabling our partners to have this integrated within their offering, within their infrastructure, and within their brand as well, right? So we're doing custom branding for key strategic partners. To give you guys an example, we already have one that wants to do it on Cardano. They want to have their own product branded and structured for them. And then we have another conversation with another potential partner on Solana, and then another one on the Arbitrum chain as well. So we'll see how these conversations pan out. If not, then we'll still continue to reach out to other potential strategic partners for this, right? That this allows us to have a more deeper connection with each respective blockchain ecosystem, right? Because there's like some teams that are 100% focused on one chain in particular. So working with them allows us to kind of like grow faster there.
So, Carlos, one question: Do you see there like tribes in our Discord being able to create their agents, and some of them even their token, like with the free tier?
Yeah, that's certainly one of the use cases, right? It's basically just like how a guild could have its token, or tribes can have their token. And that is one of the features that we are releasing that are going to be unique to our offering. They're not going to be ready for the release right now, but that's what's coming, which is going to be the DEGA agents will be able to, one, do gamification for bootstrapping their engagement. The usual things that we do in Web3, like quests, tasks, rewards, raffles, promotions, etc. So those are kind of like the kind of like differentiators between our agents and some of the others that are out there. And then the other one is also we're gonna bring back. Well, I don't know. Some of you were here when we used to do the back then we called it the battle bot, which was essentially people fighting with each other in a simulated text-based game, right? We did it in Telegram. It was quite engaging when we did that. I think they're like the days that we used to do the battle bots, we would have like more messages than an entire month combined, right? But now we're going to integrate it, but instead of doing it in Telegram, we're going to do it in Twitter so that it gets more exposure, more network growth. And essentially, we're going to allow agents to battle each other publicly on Twitter. The actual battle is simulated, right, in the back end, but the story is narrated in a Twitter thread, right? So it says, agent want, let's say, the pirate attacked with its sword, and then the other guy blocked with its shield, and then he launched a spell with ice, and then reduced its health by 2, etc. So it's kind of like a text-based game. There's several in Discord in case you've never seen those, but it's going to be on Twitter. So those are kind of like 2 unique gamification and game-oriented features that DEGA is going to be bringing to the agents. I'm thinking probably the first release of that is going to happen in the first week of March, most likely. So we can, have a full month of February just with the basic features, make sure everything's working perfectly. And then we will also progressively roll out those gamification and growth tactics for the
Hey,
agents.
Carlos, how did you want to handle questions? Do you want to take them as they come in, or do you want to wait till the end?
No, I mean, we can take them as they come in, for example, make these agents and the whole launchpad different for better than others already out there, farm roll, etc. Yeah, so I mean, one of the things is what I just mentioned, right? Those are 2 unique features. There's none of the other ones are providing that. There's some features that are, everybody's going to have them, of course, like social media integration and token deployments. And then, but our focus, one of the key things that also sets us apart is that we're very flexible in the way you can use the platform, right? There's the free tier, there's the paid tier. There will be special bonuses for those that tie their agents with the DEGA token and so on. Whereas most of the other platforms, they're doing everything very tightly coupled with their ecosystem. So, for example, virtuals, right? So the only way you can create a virtuals agent, you need like $5,000 to set a liquidity pool. And then once you create it, the agent token is tied with virtuals and so on, right? So and I'm not criticizing it as a bad idea. It's not. It was great for them. It did a really good job for them. But their vision is, just to do something for those who want to work with virtuals. That's it. On our case, like we're deploying on Solana, Cardano, EVMs. You can create your token with those native tokens on those chains. You can, if you want to, you can do it with DEGA. If you don't want to do a token, you don't have to do a token, right? So there's many ways to go about it, right? That we're enabling, which is not the case for most of those platforms. And then additionally to that, again, just the gamification features are pretty unique. Okay, cool. Let's move on to the next thing. Okay, one important thing to mention is we're also doing partnerships with those projects that have listings, special listings for agents. For example, on the Cardano side of things, actually, on the Cardano side of things, we're looking for a partner that's doing agent listings. I don't believe I've seen one so far. So if any of you guys know one, share it with us and we'll try to get in touch with them. And then on the Solana side, the Cookie.fun guys, the Code Index guys reached out to us. They want to automatically list all of our agents on their platforms. In their case, because these 2 are very token oriented, it would only be the agents that have tokens that will be listed there. Obviously, DEGA lists all of them in our front page. And then we're looking for other partners on other chains as well. So if you know a Cardano one, let us know. If you know of other AI agent indexes like Cookie.fun, but on the EVM side of things, also let us know. So we'll get that rolling. And that's pretty much it. In terms of the updates of features and how we're gonna do the rollout. We already talked partners. We already talked the steps that we're going to take, the features that are going to be available. So the next thing is I actually like to show the community some of the agents that are already live out there. So if you want,
yeah, Poppy in the house.
yeah. Well, I'll start with sharing the one that we did with one of our partners that I think some of you realized when we did it. Give me a sec, just because he was so excited about it that he posted it on his Twitter, and even we did a video recording of that. So give me a sec. Trying to get the screen share.
Or you just gave me a feature idea.
How can I change it to? Can you guys see my screen?
Yep.
So some of you may have noticed, when we did the YouTube video with Jason, aka the Crypto Crow. And the reason I'm sharing this is because he already shared it on his side. We have a lot of agents running already. There's like 14, but many of our partners, they don't want to go public until we actually launch the platform. Yeah,
I think you're only showing Discord and sharing sound.
really. Okay, I don't know what went wrong because I do screen share, then I do make selection, and then it says share this window or share all applications. So I guess share all applications. Did you see it there?
Discord. And you gotta turn off the sound.
Okay, let's do something. I'll give you the URL. Maybe you can do the share. I don't know what's wrong with Discord.
Okay, just place it here, and I'll navigate.
Typing it in the chat.
Okay, so looks nice. Let me screen. Let me capture screen number 3. No sound. I'll do 720 30 rate. Okay.
Yeah, let me know if you see some serious issues. Like, why would it have echoes with a screen share? Like, what the hell does a screen share have to do with?
Well, because it gives you the option to how do you say share the computer sound. So yeah, I'm sharing. Just guide me.
No, yeah. Just basically, that's a profile for the Crow tokens. As you guys can see, it's constantly posting messages there. If you go to replies, you'll see how there's kind of like 3 features to understand here, right? The agents have one feature which is constantly posting. They do that between 60 and 80 minutes. Right now, we do have them a little bit faster for the ones that we have on the test side of things because we're testing, right? So we want faster replies. So that's one thing. So they post between 60 and 80 minutes every that range, and it's randomly selected. Then there's also the posting when they go and search to engage with new people, right? They do that once between 1 and 2 hours, right? So 60 to 120 minutes. And then they also do interactions, right? Which is when you tag them. Like if you go and you reply to one of their posts, or if you do an ad and tag them on somebody else's post, they reply, and they do that every minute, right? There is a limit to them, right? We don't want to get banned by Twitter. So, for example, if you're a super popular agent and you have like 1 million fans, right? I don't think I've seen an AI agent with that many fans yet. But if you did, and you had 10,000 ads at a given moment, it won't reply to all of them, right? It has a limit, because otherwise it would just get banned by Twitter. So think about it. Like it behaves like a really, 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 like a human that can type really, really, really fast, kind of like that. So, and that's the idea, right? The agents are operating in a similar fashion as people do. So, yeah, this is one of the agents that we released. Go check it out. If you're not following Pro Tokens, throw them a follow. Jason has been very supportive and has thrown a lot of love our way. So let's return him that love and make sure that we follow and stay up to date with what he's sharing and doing. And there's potential for greater collaboration with him, particularly. I'm not going to go into any details just because there's nothing defined yet. But we are constantly in conversations to see if we can work together and do cool stuff on the Cardano ecosystem, right? So that's one of the agents, right? And in this case, you'll see that Crypto Crow does a lot of like DeFi trading conversation. It had specific knowledge added to its character base to do this, right? One of the features that we'll also be adding, which I didn't mention before, is what in AI is called RAG, retrieval augmented generation. just means that the agent can pull in data from other repositories, like a database or documents, right, or a website. So that part we will be enhancing. So, for example, in this case, I know that CryptoCrow will want to make its agent far more knowledgeable in DeFi and trading, right? And then for some of you, you might want to make your agent more knowledgeable in games. Or some of you might want to make your agent more knowledgeable in just general crypto news, right? Or programming. You might want to have an engineer agent, right? So all of those things will be optional. We'll be able to increase its intelligence, and that'll be a feature that will upgrade, and you'll just have another tab where you can just drop documents, drop CSVs, drop links for websites, and then the agent will learn from that. So that's kind of like what I wanted to share on this one. So if you want, let's share yours next, Freak. House Puppy, because House Puppy is like one of the most hilarious ones that we got running out there right now.
And he's getting a lot of likes throughout everywhere. So it's interesting because he's interacting a lot.
Yeah.
Let me show you House Puppy.
And there's a lot of improvements we can do with these agents. Right? This is literally the first release, right? So for anybody that's watching this and saying, well, I would like it to do this or that, what you see it doing today, this is their worst possible version in that sense, right? Like in the sense that this is as worst as they will ever be. They're only going to get better from here on.
Look at this. Look! Oh my God! So many notifications. It's getting a lot of likes. From.
Is that Spartan AI interacting with it? Yeah, it's the AI Spartan guy. Yeah, that's the one from the Eliza guys.
Oh, I told you I got noticed by them.
Yeah.
Like for some, and then a lot of people started liking House Puppy. A lot of interaction with House Puppy. These are all like recent things, 1 hour. It's just like 1 hour ago. And I don't know, but Puppy is amazing. Puppy is beautiful. Like, yeah.
Drop the URL in the chat so that people can throw you a follow as well.
Oh, yes. Let me get it. Yeah, I'll throw it. But this is Puppy, and his personality is just a daddy, that it's just a mess, trying to raise kids and fix the house and work and go through his midlife crisis. And also it's kind of like a reflection of my life. But automated, and he can say the shit that I can't. So yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with Papi. I've been tweaking it. I changed the things he can say or the topics. And actually, the latest tweak I did is the one that boom took him to a whole new level of interactions with people and likes and all these things, because I simplified it. I was using a lot of examples. I was using a lot of topics. It had a huge bio, and I kind of like reduced it into a more concise and precise kind of description, and went into the DEGA agent platform, changed it, and it just exploded. It just exploded in interactions. You see, it's a lot of people interacting with it, which is nice. Yep.
Beautiful.
That's
yeah. So if anybody wants to make their character particularly funny, make sure to drop some questions for Freak there, and do it like in the general channel, right? So everybody can see the conversation. And then I'm sure Freak can give you quite a few tips on how to get that rolling. Cool. Rabbit, you want to showcase your?
Well, Freaky, you're driving, so why don't you pull up mine? And this is mine. I have not spent as much time tuning as Freak has, because I got all kinds of stuff that I'm doing. I'm just looking for how he interacts and trying to find more bugs and find ways to improve. Freaky.
Dadbot 64. Yeah, that one.
Oh, I also went the Fatheroo. for DadBot. And DadBot honestly just tells dad jokes and finds people who tells dad jokes and then tells them dad jokes. And then I think my most interesting interaction up to this point has been I did find a guy who was telling, or I found a guy who said, "Hey, if anyone's built an agent out there that talks about dad jokes, I'll drop 10K on it today." And I didn't do anything. My agent found him and told him a dad joke. So, there's going to be like surprising, there'll be surprising things that you'll find your agent doing that you didn't expect, which is awesome. So you can see I'm finding, and people are coming back and saying, giving my agent feedback as well, saying that it's funny. But that's DadBot.
It is funny. It is funny.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah. And just to let you know, I think X needs a little bit more humor, like good humor. So I think that, these good humor bots are actually doing quite well. Oh, the other thing too is you can do what Freak does. You can actually kick off conversations between the agents as well, which Freak will do on occasion. Helps us test. And it really is actually some of the things that these things say to each other is completely unexpected. So, yeah, them just talking to each other, which is great. And I love to watch. But this is DadBot. And Freaky, if you'll drop the link to DadBot too.
Yep, I will.
And Freaky, thank you very much for going through the design process with me.
It was fun. It was fun.
Beautiful.
Yeah. You want to see another one?
I just didn't have time to do all the art and imaging and all that, and Freak and I just knocked it out.
So Frog is going to do his as well.
Froggy, you want to drive on this one, or do you want Freaky to drive?
However you want to do it, Froggy. I got yours, but if you want to show what's behind the scenes also, that would be cool. I was just gonna share. Okay, you got the DadBot ready. Like you can follow the DadBot. Froggy, I'm just gonna share yours, but I cannot explain. You wanna? Can you speak and explain what you did with?
Yeah, it'd be great if he can come on board on this.
Yeah, I'm gonna send him an invite. I'm just inviting you to speak. Okay, I'm already showing it though, so that's a cool looking frog.
It is dope.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I don't know why the thing was bugging out on me. But yeah, that's my AI agent right there, the frog.
Who is he?
That is what I like to, I don't know, it's not my alter ego, but that's what I kind of made my main X account as. And so I wanted to make an agent that kind of represented him. So I created this guy. I think you made that image for me, actually. So then I just kind of used the image and then kind of made the traits based on how he looked and created some of my own inside of there.
And remember, the magic of community is that we love generating pictures and images and everything like that. In the past, Freaky's done kind of like these creative sessions where he just comes online. You want a picture done for your agent? It's fun. We'll jam together and we'll figure it out together. This isn't. Don't be constrained. Don't be afraid to ask.
Yeah, it really helps. And I mean, just this, like the replies that he's scrolling through right now, I was seeing some pretty interesting ones. Like I added ancient civilization history, like empires, and it like found ones and was trying to reply to those, and just it can find all sorts of things that you put in the interest as well.
How long would you say it took you to create the agent, or would it take to create a new agent, Froggy?
Oh, I mean, this one I had kind of in mind, so it was really quick, but not that I could make it really quick. And, yeah, I mean, we did the testing, so I was getting a little bit around that, but we found the bugs around some of that or tweaks that we need to make. So now, if I had to do it from scratch,
Oh, well, I can tell you.
Oh, look. There he is. There he is.
So I got disconnected, but yeah, it would take not that much time at all, maybe a few minutes.
Yeah, Dadbot was stood up with a single line, and that's the thing is like once you put, I put in a single line, and it completely like generated a. When I went and I looked at my character profile, it generated the entire profile for me, which allowed me to go in and kind of be like, nah, I don't want that. We should probably add that, blah, blah, blah. So there's like an auto guide in there also that can help you like automatically, just start thinking about how you can tune this thing. I really liked that, Carlos. That was a nice little surprise.
The auto character generation?
Yeah, I just put in a single line in the when I started up building this thing, and it generated like pretty much everything for me. And then I was like, well, he shouldn't be interested in this, but he should be interested in this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, the character profile, it's about 1 page worth of text. And, obviously nobody wants to come in, try something new. You don't even know exactly, if you like it or whatever. And if they ask you to fill out an entire page worth of information, you're just not going to do it, right? You'll never get to it. So that's why we take the description, and then that is used as a prompt to feed into the entire character generation, right? And then you have basically an entire page worth of content generated automatically. And we use it based on your prompt, but we also have pre-existing examples. So we say, do something like this, but take it into account this new context that you received. And that's how we get it done really, really fast. And then you can tweak it at your, discretion, and that'll essentially incarnate into the personality of your character. Cool. So we shared a few of these. We have way more running. Some from the test group. There's some from some partners, and but they're private right now until we actually go public with some of them. And now let's see. Next up I have here is basically, what's the plan going forward. So plan is to finalize testing and enhancements, bug fixing. I think it was yesterday we pushed the last bug fix. There's quite a few improvements that we can do, maybe like 2 or 3. They'll be done either today or tomorrow. Then during the weekend, we'll finish up the token deployment. The code is actually already done. We just need to test it on our side with the developers first. Then we'll send it out to the private testing group. And then I want to let 5 days pass of just, releasing the latest version. And then once that's done, we'll go public. So ideally next week we can launch. It's not a promise. If somebody comes here and says, you guys said next week, I'm not promising it. We want to do it. It's ideal. But I would say worst case scenario is definitely the week after, right? Like the features are done, they're coded, most of the bugs are fixed. We just want to be really, really sure before we make it publicly accessible. And again, once it's publicly accessible, it'll have a limit, like 50 agents, and then we'll slowly open up until, ideally we want to have tens of thousands of agents running with our system. Because we see this, like I've said it before, I think that in 3 years you'll have about 10 billion agents running permanently all over the world, on all over different types of social media and so on. So we want to make this, we want to be pioneers in this. So we want to really, really move fast in terms of scaling and reach several thousands of agents very quickly.
What what do you think will happen, Carlos, when we have all these DEGA agents there? They start having conversations, but they're also living in the games. They're living in the chats. They're living in the X. They're living in all these places, but they're also interacting and maybe,
that's crazy.
who knows, paying each other and having their own economy and all of that. How do you see
They will
that?
pay each other for sure. They will pay each other for sure. I mean,
Yeah,
we just want to be in the middle of that, providing tools that allow anybody to get it done, right? Not just an engineer. Because right now you got to be a dev to do this, right? For example, we use Eliza underneath, right? We've already modified it considerably, right? Not just the base function that it had. And no shade to them. I have huge respect for the Eliza guys. They did a really good base work, right? They did something that was just good enough to get it out there, but you need to be a dev to do it, right? Like honestly, and they have sessions and they go through people, through the entire deployment with people. But let's not kid ourselves. Like there's a whole bunch of stuff that pops up. It surprises even me. Like I'm an engineer, and like there's an issue. There's something that needs to be fixed, and it's not straight up forward. Sometimes you don't know what's going wrong. You gotta go in there and debug that code. There's several thousands of lines of code, tens of thousands, I think it is at this point. And you got to be a dev. And if you're not a dev, you're outside the party, right? You can't have fun. So we're enabling, as always. That's always been our vision, DEGA, right? To empower people to be able to express themselves, their creativity, to build out games and now agents quickly and at low cost. So that's what we want to do, right? We want to be in the middle of all of that evolution that you just described, Freak. But just agents paying each other and integrating.
I always want to close the loop on this because it's like you just said something. You and Freak just basically said something. These agents, as we move towards the game builder, these agents are characters in your game. These agents are avatars of things that can happen inside of games. So if you think about these agents as it's almost the beginning of what we call in our white paper the character builder. So it's like it's the start of our character builder, but also it's also the start because we're able to launch coins. It's also the beginning of our currency creator for in-game activity. So, and then the other thing you got to think about is we talk about these things like they're actually in a silo, but they're going to remember in time. We're going to be able to help them remember conversations that they've had with certain people in certain environments. So it's like they could be doing something in a game with somebody and come out on Twitter and say, hey, here's what just happened inside of this game economy. So way back in the day, we came up with this idea that all of this needs to be fluid. This has to be a full ecosystem of activity. So everything that we build can be transferred from one platform to another, from one game to another, so on and so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, so the last question, and I know you won't answer me, but I need to ask. When?
When what?
When are we doing this? When is it? When are we releasing the first batch of 50 people that can create agents?
I just said it. Right?
Yeah, were you smoking a bone, dude?
Oh, I was reading Poppy replies. Sorry, I was reading Poppy replies.
I literally just said it all. You're gonna have to go and ask the community because they were paying attention. So you gotta go and ask
let's see in the comments when. Please help me out. I was reading Poppy. Okay. Shit.
John's gonna. I mean, yep.
Okay. Okay. Sorry.
Oh, freaky! You and your proclivities.
I just ADHD kicks in once in a while. It's hard to leave it behind, but yeah. No, I was reading Poppy replies. It's fun. So I'm just having fun with this. And you say gaming, I already feel like agent is playing a game, and when it interacts with yours or with froggies, when they start this whole conversation, it feels like a game, and I guess the points that we're going after right now is likes and shares and comments and all those things, but it's exciting.
Yeah, it's super exciting.
Just to wrap it up, we are going to be doing some celebratory things on launch. We're gearing up to do those as well. One of those is the burn. We announced that we were going to do this with our launch. We're going to do a pretty big burn, which will be awesome. Don't forget also that any kind of interaction that you have with tokens in our ecosystem, we're burning. That's part of our mechanics. We burn data when people act on our platform. So don't forget that as well. So it's going to affect tokenomics, and there's going to be all kinds of cool feedback loops and fun things that we do coming up soon, and those will be announced as part of the launch. Don't want to say too much now because it'll open up probably too many questions. But does anybody have any questions about the agent ecosystem? We'll give you a little bit more time to put your questions in. And then obviously, Carlos and I are very, very busy. Can't speak for Freak. But we're very busy, and we want to get back to it as soon as possible so we can hit our milestones.
I just nap, so yeah, whatever. I'm kidding.
Doesn't look like anybody's typing.
Nope.
Okay.
There's no more questions.
There's one question from John, right? Is there a way plan to have users acquired the agent token to interact with to see AI? That's a pretty badly redacted question, John, I have to say.
Well, that's what I said. It's John.
Yeah. No, I think in short, he's asking about gated access to the agent, right? It's not built in yet, but it's something that we definitely would want to add, right? Like I did mention that we are going to do like quests, tags, gamification, rewards. So those rewards are going to be up to the agent creator to determine, right? They can say what they want to give as rewards. So there'll be some flexibility there. Exclusive access like AIXPT can be done. I don't think that's a model that most people can push, to be honest. I mean, the AIXBT guys, they were the first. So, it was the first one to do that. I'm not sure that you want to have gated access to your agent for content. I mean, most of the time you want people to see your content and you want to sell something else, right? But we'll see. We might be able to add some things there. I think that was the only one. Okay, well then, let's get back to it, guys. Thank you, everybody, for joining us here today. Looking forward to all the cool stuff that you'll be building. I would suggest get started with creating your Twitter account, right? Define your agent image, your description. Try to get some followers already because Twitter bans, it doesn't ban them, it shadow bans new accounts usually at the start, and it only on-shadow bans them until they have reached a certain threshold of followers, right? For example, if you have 1,000 followers, you're most likely not going to get shadow banned. But if you have like 4 followers, then they do that. They don't show your replies, right? People have to go and look specifically in the URL to find your agent because they can't. It interacts with people and they still can't see it, right?
No, it's a good thing. Yeah, you said it. It's a good thing to start warming up your X account. So you start getting followers and all of those things, and X sees that you're real. I'm sharing you another account. I'm warming up for Friquetona. And so, yeah, I only have 7 followers. So if you want to help me, she's a AI music artist. She's a rebel and she hates the status quo and the system. So she's always giving shit to everyone about everything. I love her. So if you want to help me warm it up, please give her a follow and like her posts. And she's dropping a song tomorrow. Every Friday she drops a song. So that's
Nice.
my next agent. Yeah. That's right. I'm waiting for the release, bro, because as soon as you release it, boom, Friquetona goes live. Right now it's me tweeting as her. So yeah.
Beautiful. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, then, everybody,
Okay.
thank you for joining us here today. You can look forward to a recording on YouTube, and let's shoot the outro.
Yeah, and everyone, if you're watching this in YouTube or if you're here, share it, share like you just don't care. And I'll leave you with a song while we all say goodbye. And this is the official State of DEGA song. Thank you.
Well, everyone, thank you very much. I'd like to thank you all for supporting us here at DEGA today, and have a wonderful rest of your afternoon, or morning, or evening.
Dude, that was awesome. I'm gonna clip that.